Yo, what's up guys? Today's video is going to be a little bit different than what you're used to seeing on the channel, where I just play games and talk to what I'm doing. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about my experience, what I've learned throughout 10,000 hours of playing Rocket League. So I've played 8,869 hours on Steam. I started off on PS4 for the first year, almost 2 years of my career. And on PS4 I played anywhere between 2,200 to 2,800 hours. It's impossible really to tell. I kind of just took my games back then, multiplied it by about 5 minutes, and saw whatever I got, and that was the time I had played. So I gave a big range because I don't know how many of those games were forfeits, how many of those games were overtimes that were long. It's impossible to tell. So I gave a really big range, but it's definitely over 10,000 hours by now. But anyway, like I said, I'm going to go through all my thoughts, everything I've learned throughout my 10,000 hours of playing, all my experience, whether it be mental, in-game, but a lot of it will be mental because a lot of improving is mental is what I've learned throughout this 10,000 hour period. So anyway, before I do get into the video though, I wanted to say thank you guys so much for all the support on the channel. We're getting closer and closer to 1 million subs every single day. We're almost up to 800K, which is nuts. If you guys are not subscribed yet and you do want to help me along this road to 1 million subscribers, you guys can do that right now. If you're not subscribed, press that big red button down below, press the subscribe button, and if you do it, make sure you let me know in the comments, because every single brand new subscriber from this point on for the next week or two is going to have a chance to be featured on my channel in a 1v7, 1v5, 1v4, 1v3 video. So make sure you let me know when you do hit that subscribe button if you're brand new here, so I know to enter you guys for a chance to play against me in a 1v7, 1v6, 1v5, 1v4, 1v3 type video. But yeah guys, it's going to be all for the intro of this video. I don't want to drag it on too long because it is a very long video. But I hope you guys enjoy everything I have to say. And yeah, thank you for everything guys. I appreciate y'all. Let's head straight into the video. Alright, what I want to start this video off on is just saying I played 10,000 hours of this game, but you guys have been a huge part of that. Seriously, like everyone watching me right now, everyone that's been watching me over the years on Twitch, on YouTube, anyone that's been supporting me for a very long time, like you guys have been a huge part of that. You've been a huge part of my motivation to keep playing this game for as long as I have, even in times where, you know, I might not enjoy it as much as I should, because sometimes, you know, the game does get unenjoyable when you played it for a very long time. There are days where you just don't want to play it, but I'll be streaming and you guys will come into my chat and make it a good time for me. And you know, you guys on YouTube is a huge motivation for me as well, seeing all the brand new people come in every single day, this amazing community we've grown over here. It's a huge motivation for me, so I definitely wouldn't have put in as much time as I have, I feel like, if I didn't have all of you guys there backing me up always. I know you guys are always there, and obviously throughout all the tournaments I've played, you guys have always been there supporting me, so thank you so much. 5 major LAN wins throughout my 10,000 hours, which is a crazy accomplishment to me in my head. I never thought I'd win that many LANs, one of them being RLCS, which if you guys have been watching me for a long time, you know that's always been my ultimate goal. RLCS is always something I've wanted to win. I've wanted to win it multiple times. I want to win it more still. I'm not done yet, trust me. I've played 10,000 hours, man, but I'll play 10,000 more if that's what it takes to win another LCS. I'll try my absolute best to win more, trust me. But anyway, I just wanted to say that a huge thank you to you guys for being with me along this massive journey of all these hours played. We're getting close to 1 million subs too, which is crazy to think about. Like when I started my YouTube channel on Rocket League, I had 1,000 subs. I had 1,000 subscribers, so all of you guys are from Rocket League, literally almost all of you. So thank you so much for being a part of this. I honestly just wanted us to dedicate a part of this video just to saying thank you, because when I look back at all those hours played, you guys are massively part of that. So what I want to say is that mindset honestly is everything, guys. Like it's hard to explain how important mindset truly is. A good example would be when I first started playing this game, I was a 14-year-old kid, and I won't lie to you, I was pretty dumb. I was pretty dumb. I was always a very competitive kid in terms of any game I played, alright, and for whatever reason, you know, when I'd be losing, I would get frustrated, and it would make me play worse. I wouldn't get frustrated necessarily at my teammates, I would just get frustrated at myself for sucking, right? But what does that really gain you when you think about it? What does getting frustrated at yourself really gain you in the long term? Nothing. All it does is probably make you lose whatever game you're playing. You're not going to be able to come back from whatever deficit, you know, you're losing by, and it's just going to make you play worse. So that was something that kind of stopped me from getting as good as I could have got very early on. I got top 100 in preseason still. In the preseason of the game, I still got top 100 players. I was actually in the top 30 of 1v1, but I feel like back then I got frustrated very easily when I was losing, when I felt like I could be playing so much better. Like it was always frustration at myself, never at anyone else, which I like that over being toxic. You know what I mean? I like that over the frustration at your teammates. I think that's the worst kind of frustration. The frustration at yourself is a self-improvement type of frustration, but it's useless, to be honest. You don't want to have that. That's not something that you need. But what I was saying is I still got to a high rank in preseason. I was still one of the better 1v1 players at the time, even though I had just gotten the game. But I know I could have been a lot better if I had thought in a different way. If I had approached the game in a different mentality. If I had taken that frustration that I for some reason got, and mid-game when I'm down 4 goals to a player that I know is better than me, just take that opportunity to learn, man. Why am I getting frustrated in a spot like that? It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Like, looking back at that, it's dumb. You got to use the opportunity as a chance to learn. Like, if you're losing to someone who's better than you, clearly better than you, even if someone's worse than you and you're losing to them, what are you doing wrong? Don't get frustrated. You know what I mean? Realize that you're making mistakes somewhere. If you're losing, you're making mistakes. You don't lose to nobody. You lose to your own mistakes. So you got to realize where you're going wrong. Take whatever frustration you're feeling and just try not to get frustrated. Just literally just think about what you're doing wrong. Ignore the frustration part of things. Don't say things like, oh, I'm just bad right now. No, you're not just bad right now. You know, you can't think like that. You got to realize what mistakes you're making. Save the replay. You just lost the game. Don't leave instantly. Save the replay. Realize, what did you do wrong? If you're making the same mistakes every single time, you see the same goals going in against you every single time, save the replay. Watch it back. Realize where you're going wrong. Don't make the same excuses for yourself. You'll never improve. You'll be stuck in your rank. If you think you're stuck in your rank, that's probably why. You probably don't have the proper mindset to improve. You're probably making excuses a lot for reasons why you're getting scored on. It's just not a good mentality to have. You're never going to improve in Rocket League like that. You have to try to open your mind up and be positive about, you know, improving. Don't look at things in a negative light always. Don't feel like you're slumping. Don't feel like the way you're playing is unfixable, because it's not. You could change how you're playing. Players change their play styles all the time in pro play. There's been players that play a super defensive role, they switch to another team, and they have to learn to play a new role because they're on a new team. That's just how it works. If you ever want to get to the highest level in this game, you have to have that adaptability. You have to be able to, you know, realize where you're going wrong in games where you're down by a lot of goals. Just try to, pretty much what I'm saying is, try to use that frustration as a positive thing. Try to, instead of being frustrated, realize where you're going wrong, and don't just ignore the fact that you're losing, or don't make excuses for why you're losing. Try to realize where you're going wrong. That's one of the biggest things I can tell you guys right now, off just strictly word advice that'll help you. Seriously, there's not many things in this game that strictly words can help you with. Like, you have to watch people doing certain mechanics, you have to watch people positioning a certain way, but strictly off words alone and mentality, that'll boost your rank. I'm telling you, if you just think differently about the game, if you try to realize where you're going wrong instead of just ignoring your mistakes. That's a huge thing that I've learned throughout my 10,000 hours, and that's something that I wasn't good at. I've improved so much on that, and I'm still bad at it. I am still bad at it. Some days I'll get frustrated at myself. I'm not perfect. I'm by no means trying to tell you guys I'm perfect in this video. Trust me, I'm far from perfect still, and I know that. Trust me, I have so much I can improve on, and that's something that keeps me motivated to keep playing this game after 10,000 hours. But yeah, pretty much that's the main point that I wanted to start off with, is that mentality is everything, man. And like I said, it still happens to me. There's days where I'll get on, I have a few bad rank games, and I'm just like, man, why do I suck today? When instead, I could just, you know, toss on the replay and realize why I suck today. You know what I mean? It's normally just like little things, little mistakes you're making that is different than normal, but it feels like you're just off. But they're fixable things, and I've recently done that way more. If I feel like I'm in that mindset, like, why am I sucking? Why am I randomly sucking more than usual? I'll watch back replays, and I'll realize where I'm going wrong, and it's often like very clear what you're doing wrong. So if you guys want me to, like I said, I'll make a video and I'll try to go through every little thing that I like to look for in my gameplay when I'm going in those like weird mindsets where I feel like I'm slumping. I could do that if you guys want, so let me know down below, and I'll get around to it when I have a chance. That'll be a nice video for you guys to watch as well in terms of learning. But that's the first thing I want to go over, is mindset. And now the next thing is, you got to realize what you want out of the game. That's something that I wasn't even sure of when I first started playing this game. And it wasn't until I was sure of what I wanted that I actually became a pro player, honestly. And there is a stroke of luck that's needed to become a pro. I won't lie to you. There is a lot of luck needed. Not a lot, but you need to have connections with people that are also good. You need to have some form of, you know, interaction with someone who can get you onto a good team, right? If no one knows who you are, you've never talked to anyone, you're not going to be able to get onto a team. You have to network in some sort of way. So I'd say six mans. If you guys have never played six mans, you guys have seen six mans videos on my channel. you gotta work your way up the 6-man's ranks, and once you get to like rank X or rank S, you'll be able to get into an RLRS team or around RLRS level team, maybe get into RLRS, and then you can get into RLCS. That's the way to go. There was never 6-mans when I was becoming a pro in this game, so it came down to just being good, who people thought was good, and ranked was everything. Now it's a little bit different. But yeah, that's a big thing, is you have to try to like make connections if you want to become a pro. But if you don't want to become a pro and you want to just have fun with the game, that's something you have to establish, I feel like, early on. Because to me, I wasn't sure. When I first started playing this game, the first 3,000 hours, I was kind of just having fun, going for stupid stuff in ranked. Like, I would have an empty net and I would do this instead. Like, this net would be empty, but I would go off the back and I'd go for something stupid. Instead of just like, you know, the normal just, all right, I have an empty net, let me just shoot this ball home. You know what I mean? I'd make it as hard as possible because I just wanted to have fun with the game. But in a way, it helped me become a better competitive player because I know how to do, you know, the cooler stuff now, the harder stuff, the stuff that people find harder to say because it's like mechanically more inclined, right? That kind of made me a better player in a way. That's why I have that like freestyler-esque-ness to me, I guess, is the best way to explain it. Like that flashiness to me. That came from me originally not being sure of me wanting to be a competitive player. Because if you watch competitive players like Garrett D's a good example, super solid competitive player. He's not the flashiest player, but he's one of the most solid players in the game. K-Dop, great example as well. Not a very flashy player, but one of the most solid players in the game. And that's just because they knew they were always at the top level. They knew they were always like, they were ever at a state where they were not sure if they want to be like a freestyler or a comp player. They started playing the game and they're at the top right away. So it's like they knew what they wanted out of the game. I didn't know. I was very in between. And that's okay if you don't know, but I think it's something you need to establish. If you start playing this game and you think it's something you want to, you know, pursue pro-wise, you have to, you know, really put in the time and really start changing your mindset, like I mentioned earlier, to become what you want to become. You know, you can't keep doing the same thing every single day. But if you want to just have fun with the game, by all means have fun, man. Play however you want to. And that's honestly, I wouldn't even mind going back now if I just had fun with the game and kind of ran like a Jazer-ish, you know, type of channel where I'm just doing a lot of freestyle stuff and having fun. I think we would have got a lot of cool goals that way in unranked. But you know, I would have missed playing in front of all you guys at LANs, winning RLCS. I would have missed winning all the majors and stuff like that. So there's good parts to both of it. I think there's a lot of joy in content creation for being like a, you know, just a fun type of player, like going for cool goals the whole time. There's a lot of joy in content creation for that, and making montages, one of my favorite things to do. It used to be, at least. And I promise you guys the 1 mil montage will be nuts. Like I promise you, I'll have so much fun making that. I have so many clips. I want to make that like the best montage ever. But I'm going on a tangent, man. Like I'm going like all over the place with my topics right now. But my point was, you got to realize what you want in this game. You know, if you think that you want to just be a for fun player, you know, just freestyle and have fun with the game, and you don't have to stress about being really good or being at the highest level, that's honestly a very fun way to play this game. Stress free, you know, there's a lot of perks to that. But if you want to be a pro, it takes a lot of time, and there's a lot of perks to that as well. Obviously, you can get paid from being a pro off contract salary. You can you know, win LANs. The feeling of competing, the feeling of winning at a LAN is almost unmatched, to be honest. Like, it's an incredible feeling. It's such a nice feeling when you win a big LAN. Losing is terrible though. The feeling of losing is so bad, man. Like losing at a big LAN and knowing you have to go home and you can't play any more matches on stage is the worst feeling, man. It's hard to explain. It's such a bad feeling though. Like the feeling of winning and the feeling of losing, they're two polar opposites. Like it's such a weird thing. Like when you win something massively, you're so happy, and for like, you know, multiple days, sometimes weeks. When you lose something, you're the exact opposite way for sometimes weeks. You know, some players, it hits them harder. It definitely hits them harder when they're really close to winning as well. So those are the things you gotta kind of like weigh your options. You know, do you want to be a for fun freestyler type player? Do you want to just go pro and put in a lot of work, a lot of time to get to where you want to get to? So yeah, that was my next point, was just try to establish what you want early on. I wasted 3,000 hours thinking I was gonna become a freestyler. But I don't think it was a waste, because I started doing stuff like ceiling shots pretty early on. I started doing this, like I figured I kind of put all my freestyler type of gameplay into how I played competitively. That's how stuff like, you know, ceiling shots, flip resets, stuff like that all got into competitive play, was players that also had like a similar mindset to me. Just like, you know, you don't have to waste these freestyler mechanics on just freestyling. There's ways that in competitive play they can be used as well. And that's why I thought this save, I always thought this had a lot of potential. I actually saw a freestyler doing that way back. I don't remember who, but they used it for a shot, and I figured that would be like super OP for saves in Grand Champ. I remember when I started doing that on stream, everyone was thinking it was so dumb for comp, because people were doing it in freestyling already in unranked. But I remember I tried to put that into comp, and people always thought I was stupid for going off the back like that. Not everyone does it. Like pros do it all the time. So stuff like that. Like you can push boundaries if you're coming from freestyling. Maybe you're like me and you weren't sure you're from freestyling, and then you wanted to go into competitive play. You know, if you're one of those people, then that's good. You can push the boundaries of the game. That's a lot of the people that are super mechanically inclined. They started as people who wanted to go for like cool goals all the time, like me, and they, you know, they stick that same skill set into competitive play, and that's okay. It's okay to not be 100% sure, but I'm just saying it's better. The earlier you know, the better, because you can sculpt your playstyle how you want to. Because you'll see those players that are Grand Champ that don't have very good mechanics, but they're very good positionally. Those are players that I think they know they want to try to go pro, and they never really tried to push themselves outside of their comfort zone in terms of mechanics and going for cool stuff. Because you don't really need to go for cool stuff if you're a pro. Honestly, there's a lot of players that don't. A lot of players that can't, to be honest, in pro play. But they're good enough positionally that it doesn't really matter, to be honest. But yeah, that was my my second thing. So the two things I talked about so far was mentality, having a good mindset, not blaming your teammates, you know, being someone who tries to look to improve themselves more than blame others for why they're doing badly. And, you know, don't blame slumps. Try to look for what you're doing wrong. That was my first one. The second one is try to realize if you want to take the pro route or just a casual ranked player route. Like you just want to play ranked, try to see how high you can get, and then once you get kind of stuck in a rank, you're just gonna have fun at it. You know what I mean? If you're one of those players, that's fine. That's a lot of fun. That's honestly what I've done in CS:GO. That's how I am in CS:GO. I know I'm not gonna go pro in CS, so I kind of just have fun with it. I try to get better at, you know, aiming and just in general going for cool, like 1v4s, 1v3s when I have the chance to. I don't really care too much about my rank. I'm still decently high rank, but you know, it's not something I care about to the point where I'm trying to go pro. So I know I've established in CS that I don't want to go pro, obviously. That's a good example, though. Like, I kind of just, like, got stuck at, like, LEM in CSGO. And I'm just, like, you know, trying to kill people for fun, going for cool kills and stuff like that, and trying to practice my aim. That's the only thing I do in CS. So if you want to be like that in Rocket League, just go for cool goals all the time. You know, just establish that early on so you're not wasting your time trying to be in between or not sure what you're doing. You know what I mean? Try to use, what I'm trying to get to is make the most of your hours. You know, you don't need to play 10,000 hours like me. You can play 5,000 hours and be a pro player if you use your time more wisely. Like I said, a lot of the time that I have played is going for stupid stuff. I practice going for so much dumb stuff that it's it's actually crazy. I probably have like half my hours, like 5K hours is probably me just going for like stupid goals. You know what I mean? Where it could have been me focused on my positioning. I probably would be a better positioning player right now. But, you know, I don't regret it because I'm happy with my playstyle. I'm happy with, you know, the way that I think I play and the way that the flow of my game looks. I think my gameplay is fun to play for me, so I think it'd be fun to watch for you guys. That's how I think. If I was bored playing the game with my, like, style of gameplay, then I wouldn't be happy. That's why I'm satisfied with how I play. I don't regret any of the time that I spent putting into certain things, but I'm just saying, if you guys want to go pro, put your time into better things. Use your time more wisely. It's not about quantity, it's about the quality of your hours. So you can have, like I said, 5,000 hours and still be a pro because you've used your hours in a different way than I have. Whereas I've had 10,000, 11,000 hours and I've used it in a very different way than you. Probably half my hours is positionally focused and half my hours is you know, mechanically focused, or a little over half my hours is mechanically focused. So, you know, it all depends on how you use your playtime. You can even try to mix two of those in one. You don't need to, you know, have a specific play style. It all comes down to how you feel comfortable playing the game. So just use your time wisely and don't waste any time. Don't play the game for no reason if you're trying to go pro. If you're having fun with the game, like I said, play the game for no reason. That's why establishing what you want out of the game is a huge thing. That's a huge thing that I wish I had known a little bit earlier on. So I'm telling you guys that right now. That's something I've learned from my 10,000 hours of experience. So another thing that I will say is mechanics aren't everything. That kind of stems in with the previous thing. Mechanics are not everything, guys. Like, you don't need 10,000 hours to be a pro player, like I said, because you could just be better at different things. Everyone's better at different things. You don't need to waste all your hours putting it into flip resets. You don't need to waste all your hours putting it into air dribbles or ceiling shots or double taps. Practice like the things that you need to improve your gameplay. You don't need some of the unnecessary stuff. Like, you don't need to know how to do a wall chain dash. Like, you don't need to know how to do that. It's so unnecessary. I learned it because it's cool and it's fun to do, you know what I mean? And I can like go for some weird fake where I like go up the wall like this and I wave dash on the wall and they think I'm jumping. That's just me personally. You don't need to do that. Don't waste your time on mechanics that are dumb if you're trying to just improve. Because at the end of the day, you can improve by, you know, just playing smart. Like, this ball, all I need to do in a game is probably just do a normal flick. But me, being the dummy that I am, you know, you don't need to copy me in everything I do. I'd probably go for something stupid and miss. You know what I mean? It's like, there's no... That's how I play ranked. If I'm playing in RLCS or something, I'd obviously just go for like a normal flick and just try to shoot it. But you don't have to go for the stupid stuff. You don't have to practice the stupid stuff. Yes, it makes the game more fun, sure, but, you know, just focus on the fundamentals if you are trying to go pro. Most of this video will be talking about, you know, trying to become a pro player, or my journey to trying to become a pro player and things I've learned. It's not going to be about becoming a freestyler or anything freestyle related, so if that is what you want out of the video, you can still watch, of course, but don't take any of the tips I'm saying. Like, this tip of me, like, saying you don't need to practice all these mechanics, it's not so that you guys don't practice the mechanics. It's just, I'm just saying, if you're trying to become a pro player, you don't need it, right? But if you're becoming a freestyler, you want to just have fun with the game, of course, by all means, that's the most fun thing to do in this game, to be honest, is practice mechanics. But in terms of just improving, you don't need that. It's my big point. So if you're playing in a ranked game and you run into someone that has, you know, insane mechanics, but they can't hit the ball, don't roast them for it, because they're just having fun with the game. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to roast everyone you're playing. Like, I've played so many people, played against people that, like, they're roasting their teammates because their teammates can flip reset, but they don't know how to position. Maybe they're just having fun with the game. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is, man. You don't have to roast people for just enjoying themselves. At the end of the day, it's ranked. Everyone's trying to improve. Everyone's trying to have a good time. It's a game at the end of the day. So, you know, try to keep that in mind if you're ever someone who's a keyboard warrior. So you're the type of person to, like, be toxic. You know what I mean? Keep that in mind. All right, this is another big one that I've learned throughout my 10,000 hours, and it's settings related. You guys ask pros for their settings all the time, okay? And here are my settings. There you go. But the thing is, it doesn't matter what my settings are. At the end of the day, if I have my settings at this and I could play good, you shouldn't copy me because these are my settings. You know what I mean? Just because I use these stupid looking settings and I'm good with them doesn't mean you will be. Okay? And whatever settings you use, if it's just a pro player settings, doesn't mean you're going to be pro level. You know what I mean? Settings has nothing to do with it. My point is, I would say if you're someone who doesn't know what settings to use, don't just copy a pro settings. A pro settings are a good baseline, sure, but mess with stuff. So what I would do is, you know, set your field of view to 110. That's a really good baseline. Set your distance to like 260. Try 260, try 270, 280, and 290. Between 260 and 290 is your sweet spot for camera settings, honestly. 90 to 110, your sweet spot for height. Angle, I would say -5 to -3. And stiffness, 35 to 70. It's probably your sweet spot. So mess with all those and just find your favorite settings, and there you go. Don't use a pro settings. Don't use a pro settings just because it's a pro settings. Find your own. For sensitivity and dead zone, dude, Gimmick uses 3.5 sensitivity, 3.5 steering. You don't want to use that. Like, if you're someone who's never used high sense, don't use it just because Gimmick is using it. Don't use it just because a pro is using high sense. Use a sense that feels good to you. For me, I would do the same thing. If a pro is playing really well in a certain sense, I would try it out. When I was coming up as a pro, I would do that all the time. I would see a pro, you know, on a certain sensitivity, and I'd be like, okay, let me try it. Let me just see how it feels. And that's just not a good thing to do, okay? Because everyone has a different feel for their controller. Everyone moves their stick in a certain way, certain, like, you know, hardness to how they push their stick. I don't know the right way to explain that, but you know what I mean. Like, as far as you push your stick is different for everyone, right? So I would say for your sense as well, just try to find what you want to use. 0.05 is a really good baseline to have your controller dead zone. You should have that there, I'd say. And then, you know, dodge dead zone, anywhere between 0.50 and like 0.75 is good. Like honestly, anywhere between there. But you got to find what feels good to you. For aerial and steering, same thing. Just slowly raise it by, you know, 0.5 every time, and just see what feels good to you. Don't use someone's settings because it's their settings. Like, go in a training pack, try a setting. You know, if you can't air roll as much as you'd want to, or you can't like control your car the way you want to, then switch it. Like, try something different. Try something a little bit higher maybe. Maybe you don't have the control you want yet. So keep practicing with that. But my main point is, for settings, don't use settings just because the pro uses it. The only settings I will say are okay to use because the pro uses it is like maybe the nameplate scale, because you see people's nameplates in this on the field bigger, and it doesn't really affect you too much. It just helps you have a better awareness of the game. Nameplate scale is a good thing to copy pros on. I think that's the only thing that I would say is a good thing to copy pros on. But even then, it is preference. If you do want smaller name scales, you can have literally the name scales so tiny that you just see the cars pretty much. You can have the nameplate scale so big that you pretty much only see the nameplate. You barely even see the car. So it's literally all up to you. It's all preference. But that's something that I actually copied someone on it. That's the reason why I changed this originally. I had it on default, and I copied someone like when I was getting better at the game. I don't remember who it was though. But I'm at 140 now. If you guys want to copy that, but you can just try to find your preference for all these settings. That's what I would say. The camera and the, you know, the steering, sense, and dead zone, those are two big ones that you need to find your preference, man. You don't copy a pro just because it's their settings. Trust me, that's not the way to go. And I say this with confidence because I'm someone who has changed my settings thousands of times. Like, throughout my 10,000 hours, I've changed my settings so many times. I've tried every variation of 260 to 280, 90 to 110, -5 to -3, and 35 to 70. I've tried every single variation. I'm not even kidding. Like, I've 110 in all those settings, the gaps between. I've literally tried every single one. I've tried every single one between my 10,000 hours of gameplay. So trust me, I know when I say that with confidence that, you know, you have to choose your camera settings based off your preference. It's nothing to do with what other people are using. That's a huge tip that'll help you gameplay wise. That's gonna make you feel much more comfortable when you're playing the game. Even if your settings are really weird, if they have to look really weird, you have to use like really zoomed out settings. You know, there are grand champs with really zoomed out settings because they use that advice. I guess they figured out along the way that they need to use their own settings. Also, I get this question a lot because I played so many hours. People always ask me, "You've played so many hours, how do you stay interested in the game? How do you still enjoy this game after playing all these hours?" For me, it's just keeping the game fresh. So I try to learn new things all the time. So when I see someone do something new, I try to practice it. So double flip resets like that is something that I've been practicing for, you know, probably like a month now. That's something new that, you know, I can get on every day and try to focus on improving it. And I have gotten way better at it. If you guys have been watching me on Twitch, you would have seen when I started practicing them, and you would have seen how much better I've been getting at them. Like, I can get them much more consistent than I used to. And that's something that, you know, keeps the game super fresh. Just going for new mechanics, trying to keep the game feeling new. You know, if you do the same thing every single day, you don't push yourself to improve, you don't try anything new, you're not going to get that much better, and you're not going to enjoy the game at the same time. So that's like a huge thing that I think helps a lot in terms of playing a long time and trying to still enjoy what you're doing. You know what I mean? Because yeah, of course, the game at some points does feel boring. I won't lie to you. That's going to come with anything that you have a lot of time played in, though, or anything that you've done for a very long time. If you're working a job for, you know, 20 years, you're bound to feel bored sometimes. You know, it's just how it is. I haven't done this for 20 years, obviously, but the same thing applies. You're bound to feel bored. You got to do something to keep it fresh. So same thing applies for this. If you played it for a long time, or you're looking to be a pro and looking to play it for a long time, keep the game fresh. Keep the game new for yourself. That's the best way to enjoy it. So that's a huge thing that people always ask me. How do you not get bored? You have all these hours. How do you not get bored? Also, it does help in a way that, you know, I have lands to look forward to, like the competitive motivation of it, wanting to still win stuff. That's a huge help. If I didn't have that, obviously would have less motivation to play the game as often. I won't lie to you. But at the same time, there's always you guys as well. That's a huge motivation for me. So you got to find motivation somewhere in the game, whether it just be, you know, to have fun, or if you want to be a streamer, you want to try to become a pro. Find motivation somewhere, and it'll make the game never feel boring to you, because you'll always have something to, you know, look forward to. You have something to try to work toward. That's why I think those players that like go for those like infinitely long air dribbles, or you know, the hundreds of flip resets in a row, whatever they do, you know, they keep the game really fun for themselves because they're always trying to push themselves to do more. You know what I mean? That'll never get boring if you do that all the time. If you just try to improve that, you try to push the ceiling of what you're capable of, that's a really fun thing to do. You know what I mean? That's probably something I would want to do after I'm done pro play, just try to push the ceiling for what I'm capable of, or maybe even when I'm still pro, I would still try to keep pushing the ceiling. Obviously, I'm still trying to push the ceiling of what I'm capable of, but you know what I mean? I'll have more time to literally just focus on the dumb stuff that's not necessary in pro play, because you can't air dribble the ball for 100 seconds in pro play. You just can't. You know what I mean? It's not worth even practicing that. I know how to air dribble the ball for the maximum amount of boost usage for 100 boosts, which would just be like probably, I'll probably use like 30 so far. That's 100. You know what I mean? Like you don't have much boost to use in a real game, so you don't need to know how to do much besides like the default air dribble. So I've never really pushed myself to learn how to do the like infinitely long one. But I'm just saying, keeping the game fresh is massively important, and trying to keep you know, new mechanics coming in as frequently as possible into your gameplay. Just try to like slowly implement them when you can. Keeps the game super fresh and super fun. That was pretty clean. Also guys, I know this video isn't very well organized. I just wanted to talk to you about everything like that I've kind of learned throughout my time. It's not like I don't have an organized list or anything. I'm just trying to have a conversation with you guys in a way where you guys don't respond to me because I'm talking to myself, but you know what I mean. Like you guys are all listening. You can kind of take in the bits and pieces of information that you want to take in. I was trying to spew as much information as possible from my experience, and hopefully it helps you guys in some way. You know, because a lot of you guys do ask me what it takes to become a pro. You want to go pro? How do I do it? You know, I'm trying to give you guys as many tips as possible. You guys always ask me, because I've played 10,000 hours, do I have like a advanced sense of the game? Like, do I know where everyone is going to be always? Do I have like a mini like radar in my head as to where everyone is on the map? Like I get that question a lot for whatever reason. And the answer is yes, in a way. Like I know where everyone will be on the field most of the time. Like I know there's somewhat where they're at, but at the same time, you know, there are people that play a little bit unconventionally, and it can throw you off because, you know, you haven't seen, even though I've played 10,000 hours, there's new playstyles coming out. I haven't seen every single type of playstyle, so it's hard to, you know, kind of expect the way new players are going to play. I probably should have asked you guys to ask me questions so I wouldn't just like go off in a bunch of rants in this video. Not really rants, but you know what I mean, like just keep talking about stuff that I'm thinking of as they come up. But I should have just asked you guys questions so you guys could have asked me whatever you wanted to in terms of, you know, what I've learned throughout my time. But I wanted to talk more about the mentality part of things rather than the gameplay part of things, because out of 10,000 hours of gameplay alone, obviously my mechanics are really solid. I still miss a lot though. I won't like lie to you guys. No matter how good you are mechanically this game, you're gonna make mistakes. There's gonna be days where you do miss reads. You know what I mean? They're obviously like, you can improve that and you can get more and more consistent at it. And obviously I've tried to, but there are days you're still gonna miss reads. You're never gonna get to the point where you never miss. You know what I mean? You're always gonna make mistakes sometimes. So that's never something you can fully rule out of your gameplay. No matter how much time you have played, you're always gonna make some form of mistakes. So yeah, throughout 10,000 hours, obviously my mechanics very solid. I don't really make crazy amount of mistakes. Like I don't miss very often. Obviously it happens sometimes. I don't miss very often. In terms of consistency though, I can still get way better. Oh, this is a huge one that I really want to talk to you guys about as well, because all you guys always ask me, how do you deal with toxic players, Squishy? This game's so toxic. I always get these questions, right? The truth of it is, Rocket League, it's really not that toxic. Like I've seen the lower rank toxicity. I've done Road to Grand Champs with random names. I've done Road to Grand Champs where I can't score. So people do get toxic, and I see it. But if you're someone who's played CSGO, if you're someone who's played League of Legends, you'll know that Rocket League is nowhere near that point of toxicity. Like it's bad, but every game is bad. Every single game is bad. Rocket League is not that toxic, to be honest. And there's a lot of features in Rocket League that can help you with toxic players. Honestly, if you're playing with someone that's toxic or against someone that's toxic, as soon as you see them saying anything stupid, just mute them. You know, you don't need that in your life. You don't need the negativity. Don't even entertain what they're saying. the end of the day, they probably want attention. You know what I mean? There's no reason to entertain that. So just mute them, play your game, beat their asses. You know what I mean? That's the best kind of trash talk back to someone who's trash talking you is don't say a word and just win. That's the best trash talk back. Trust me. You don't need to spread negativity the same way they are. Just win. Just beat them. Show them you're better, and then move on. You know what I mean? There's no reason to worry about it or get hung up on someone who's being rude to you in ranked. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day, right? Just ignore them. Move on with your day. They might be having a bad day. You know what I mean? They might be just having a bad day, getting frustrated. So just mute them. Let them talk to themselves. Let them vent to themselves. You know what I mean? That's how I deal with that. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter too much. You know, you're gonna run into people that are gonna be toxic. You're gonna run into people that are gonna be rude to you. But you know, you gotta try to look past that and just focus on yourself. Focus on your own gameplay. Don't be toxic back. It's the worst thing you do. If your teammate's playing bad, don't be toxic. If you're someone who's naturally someone who likes to type and say rude things, maybe that's something you gotta try to look to yourself to change. But don't say anything bad to your teammate. If your teammate's having a rough game, and you type in chat, "What are you doing, man?" Like, if you type in chat like that, or you type something toxic or passive aggressive, at the end of the day, it's only gonna make them play way worse. Why would you ever type that? If someone's having a really bad game, don't type dumb stuff. Like, it's never gonna make them play better. And there's no world where saying you're so bad or you're trash is gonna make someone playing bad play better. There's no world where that. Say something like, if they say, like my bad or something, or they say sorry and be like, it's all good. Like, just be nice. Just be nice to people. Trust me, it comes back around. You know, have people being nice to you when you're having an off game instead of someone saying you're trash when you're making mistakes. So everyone can be nicer. The whole community can be nicer in every game, obviously, and you can't really control all of that. But I'm just saying in general, don't get hung up on the few people that are rude. Try to think about the people that are being positive, because there are people that are really nice in this game. People tend to always look at the negatives, and I'm the same way. When I see comments, when I read comment sections, the negatives always stick out to you. The positives kind of just roll by because they're positives, but the negatives always kind of just stick out more than the positives for whatever reason. It's just how the brain works, I guess. But yeah, that's a big thing. In terms of toxicity, you know, for all the people that ask me about it all the time, how do you deal with it? Ignore it, man. It's a hard thing to do for some people. I understand that, but at the end of the day, you're just playing a game. You're trying to have fun. You know, don't let anyone ruin that experience for you. If you're having a bad day, don't put that pressure on yourself to perform. Just have fun, man. Don't care what anyone thinks in ranked. It shouldn't matter. Just enjoy yourself at the end of the day. And yeah, if anyone's just talking down on you in a game, like I said, mute them, move on. That's the best thing you can possibly do. Oh, this is another big one that I just thought of. People ask me, how do you break out of a slump if you feel like you're slumping? You know, I kind of touched upon that topic earlier, where I don't think slumps are a thing. I feel like it's just like some days you feel like you're playing worse than usual, and then you think you're slumping, so it makes you play even worse, when really you should look at what you're doing wrong instead. That's how I feel. But if you are someone who feels like you're genuinely just playing really bad, I think the best way to break out of that, to be fully honest with you, is like a 2-day break, reset, come back with a fresh mindset. Forget about, the bad games you may have had or the losses in rank that you may have, just lost. Forget about the bad games that you might have had, a couple of days ago. Come back with a brand new, fresh mindset. I'm telling you, it works wonders. Something about it, coming back fresh, you'll have a new motivation to play the game. You won't feel like you're playing bad, and it'll help you a ton. So that's a huge thing. I think that helps a lot with when you just think you're slumping. Personally, like I said, I think if you are in that mindset, you can fix it by literally just watching replays and realizing where you're going wrong and trying to change your mindset. But, like I said, some people can't just flick off their mindset like that. Some people, they feel as if they're not playing well, and that's okay. That's okay to feel like you're just not playing well for a couple of days, or you're just at a down point in your current form. That's fine. Just take a break, and that's your best way to come back with a fresh mindset, a renewed sense of wanting to play the game, and you're gonna play better because of it. Trust me. And one of the last things I will say is, for those of you trying to get to Grand Champ, if you're stuck in a rank, or those of you that are just starting to play right now, focus heavily on the fundamentals. That's something that'll get you very far. Just learning how to hit the ball hard, learning how to hit the ball fast where you want it to go. Those are very, very important things that'll get you so far in this game, like ridiculously far. You could literally get to Grand Champ just off of being able to hit the ball hard, like forward or on target. That's all you need, really. You'll get the Grand Champ off of that. If you watch my Road to Grand Champ series, which I will be doing another one soon, with a special guest. I won't say who it is yet, but it's a pro player, a very, very well-known, very popular pro player that is a very good friend of mine. I will be doing a Road to Grand Champ with him pretty soon, so it's a special guest announcement that will be coming soon whenever I do record with him. But yeah, you guys can watch that in my other Road to Grand Champs. In the lower ranks, if you could just bang a shot on target with power from anywhere in the field, it'll go in because people aren't as consistent in saving the ball. So that's something you should learn early on. That's something that with 10,000 hours of experience, when I first started playing, if I had known how deadly just banging the ball on target is, learning how to hit the ball like with power off of a bounce, if I had known how deadly that was, I would have practiced that and only that, like for the first like 100 hours of my game, and I would have got so much better so quickly. Trust me, that's like a huge thing to practice. That it's not hard at all to practice, but it's something that people wouldn't think is as important as it is. I feel like people now, they get the game, they see pros doing wave dashes, ceiling shots, stuff like that, and they're just like, let me try that. But you don't know how to save your boost properly. You don't know how to, like, you know, do the fundamentals yet. You gotta learn the fundamentals before you can do that. You know what I mean? What's that saying? You gotta walk before you can run, type thing. You gotta learn how to do the fundamentals before you can do those hard things. That's what I think. So learn how to do like good power shots high up on target from anywhere on the field. That's a massive skill that'll help you so much, always, throughout the entirety of your Rocket League career. Whenever you have that empty net, or you know, if you're just in a spot where you could just clear the ball on target from your side of the field, just to make it awkward for the other team. That works in my rank. That works in pro games still. Just clearing the ball high up, forcing out a bad touch. That still works. So just learn how to hit the ball hard off bounces. That's something that with 10,000 hours is one of the most valuable skills. This, for example, I know it's not supposed to be like this. Like, it's not supposed to be a clear, but learning how to clear the ball like this, off of a wall, off the bounce, same concept. Massively useful. This is a fundamental that's like way better than ceiling shots, way better than flip resets, just because it's like invaluable in a game. Like, this can help you in so many situations in a game, just learning how to do this. Also learning how to just control the ball like this, then trying to just stay with it, get a 50-50 out. Very useful in all these situations. So that was my main point about this. Just learn the fundamentals of the game. It's gonna help you more than anything else, trust me. Fundamentals will help you more than any ceiling shot, any flip reset. Just because I do it, just because other pros do it, doesn't mean that you should start off early on in the game learning how to do this stuff, because you're not going to be ready to do it. Trust me. And a huge thing, if you are someone who is good enough, high enough rank to go for ceiling shots, flip resets, air dribbles, make sure you have the boost to do so. Don't use your boost stupidly. That's something that I still do. This is one of the best tips in this video, to be honest, this whole video in terms of gameplay. Don't use your boost stupidly. It's something that I still do in a way, something that a lot of pros still do in a way. Something that I used to do really badly, was just waste my boost in spots that I didn't need to. When I became a pro, I got way better at it. As soon as I get a boost, I'd hold on to it until I absolutely need to use it. Because if you hold on to the 100 boost and a ball comes toward you, there's so much more you can do with it than if you only had 12. If you only have 12, you can only do this, and that's it. The ball's gone. If you have 100, you can fake this, go middle, and now you have a free goal. If you only have 12, look, I can barely even reach this ball. Like, I can't even reach it. Do you know what I mean? So you have to manage your boost properly. That's a huge tip. That's probably the most important tip I can give you, to be honest, in terms of gameplay, is boost management. If you can learn how to manage your boost properly, that's something that'll help you forever in this game. Literally forever. Every single rank, that's huge. If someone's trying to boost starve you and you can hold on to, like, you know, the extra boost that you do have in your tank, that's perfect. If you know how to do that and maintain your extra boost, that's literally going to help you in endless scenarios. Like, it's crazy to me how important boost usage is in this game, especially these days, the way people boost starve, the way people try to bump you all the time. So just practice your boost usage. Practice learning mentally the timings of your boost. So if you guys don't know, the big boost pads are 10 seconds and the little boost pads, I believe, are 4 seconds. Let me just check real quick. I'm pretty sure the little ones, yeah, I'm like 99% sure the little ones are 4 seconds and the big ones are 10. I know the big ones are 10 for sure. Those are two things that mentally you really need to keep track of, because if someone's boost starving you hard, you could take this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, and take it again, 2, 3, 4, and then back again. There you go. I got, you know, 30 boost, 36 boost off of that when someone's just coming toward me with the dribble, just by taking the same one. You know, I can fake challenge this way, turn back around, get the boost pad. I mean, use your fake challenges wisely. where you can get the pad again every time. And then for the big boost pads, it's something I like to keep track of in the game. If I take one, it's going to be 10 seconds till it comes back. So I kind of have a mental note of how long 10 seconds is. Even though I'm talking right now, now it's going to come back up right about now. So I can be back around the boost. And then go back toward the ball. So it's like something that you have to keep a mental note of. I don't even need to count it anymore. I can kind of take it and then keep track of when it's going to come back. I know how long it takes to get to one side of the field to the other. So I know that this one's about to come back right now. So just get back to it. And then this one's going to come back a second later. So you got to have a mental track of how long it takes to get to like one side of the field on this side. How long it takes to rotate around. I have an idea of it. It's about 8 seconds to get from... I timed this a while back. So if I'm moving forward here, it's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. To get back to the corner boost, I've timed that before. It's a very useful thing to know moving forward, because say I just rotated back to net, I grab this boost, and this ball gets hit here, and I decided to just take their boost and then rotate back. By the time I rotate all the way back here, if I wanted to, I could secure our back boost again, because that'll be the exact same timing. I know the timings of like all the boosts and how long it takes to get across the field. That's something that I definitely learned because I have so many hours in this game. It takes a lot of time to get a feel for it, because you know, if you're just playing the game and you're kind of just going toward the ball and ball chasing a lot, you won't have a very good flow of the game. You gotta try to flow with what's happening in the game. So yeah, that's like a huge thing that's super important to learn, just the timings of the boost. So 4 seconds for small pads, 2, 3, 4, it's back up, and then 10 seconds for the back ones. Those are the two main things for boost, and then you just got to manage your boost. So when you're full speed, you know, don't boost beyond that. You'll always be full speed if you just hold R2. You can even turn a little bit. Look how much I could turn, just a little bit either way, but you'll lose it if you turn a lot. So just stay in one steady line. You'll be full speed the whole time. So what I like to do is, if I want to save boost, I'll hit this ball off the wall, I'll boost to full speed, and then if I want to turn, I'll just boost when I'm turning. Look how much boost I still have. But I've been full speed that whole time, and I have so much boost still. So that's what all the pros do. You'll see every pro doing that. When they can go supersonic, they don't waste their boost unless they absolutely need to. That's pretty much everything I want to talk about in this video. The main things. Boost management was a huge thing I want to talk about gameplay wise. One of the biggest things out of my 10,000 hours, I've learned that boost management is probably the most important skill in this game, to be honest. Obviously, rotating around your teammates is hugely important, but if you don't have the boost to help out your teammates or assist them with what they need, then there's no point. You know what I mean? You can rotate perfectly but have no boost. Boost management is the most important thing I'd say in this game. So learn the timings of big boosts, small boosts. Learn how to rotate around your team, of course, by watching replays. That's replay related. I talked about that earlier. But I feel like I covered everything, all the main things that I wanted to talk about. I've learned a lot through my 10,000 hours, but at the end of the day, I've enjoyed every minute of it, and seriously, I wouldn't take back any of it. I don't regret any time I've played in this game. I'd still play another 10,000 hours. If that's what this game's going to lead me to, another 10,000 hours, if I'm still going to be playing competitively, if I'm still going to be a pro, I'm down for it, honestly, and I'll make another one. When I reach 20,000 hours, I'll let you guys know what I've learned. But these are all the main things, and I hope you guys learned a lot from this video. If you guys did enjoy this video, please let me know down below. I'm sorry if it was just a lot of rambling, but I feel like it was a lot of fun, to be honest. To talk about everything with you guys, talk about everything that I've learned. I hope you guys learned something. If you guys did, let me know down below, like I said. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. As always, I appreciate y'all. If you watched all the way to the end, let me know down below. I'm curious to see how many of you guys actually watched almost like 40 minutes, 50 minutes of someone just talking about their experience playing the game like a boomer, like an old boomer. But yeah, thank you guys for stopping by. Like I said, I love you guys. Thank you so much for the support. If you're not subbed, like I said at the beginning of the video, hit that subscribe button so you can get a chance at being in one of my future videos in the next probably couple weeks. Probably I'd say like next 1 to 2 weeks I'll be recording those. So I'll be picking people for the next couple of videos that I do. So make sure that if you're not subbed, you hit that sub button so I can pick one of you guys. You guys can be featured in one of my new videos. But before I do get off though, I'll show you guys this real quick. It's not 100% accurate because all my stats got reset about 2 years ago. So the playtime obviously isn't accurate, and the games played isn't accurate. I probably have double, triple this, something like that. Also, I have a lot of free play hours. A lot of my hours are free play. But this is not fully accurate, but this is within the last 70 days of playtime. These are my stats. So that's what you guys have been asking for in a couple videos. Can I see stats? Can I see stats? There you go. This is my stats if you guys wanted to see it. But yeah, not fully accurate. Like I said, I probably have 60,000-ish games played total if you're adding PS4 games as well. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, have a good one. I'll see you guys all in the next. I love y'all. Peace.